Hi, everyone. I'm Megan Hill Washington, Training Manager for Kohler Company. I'm here today with Keia McSwain, President of the Black Interior Designer Network. Joining me on this day, Dr. Martin Luther King Day. I am so really proud of this conversation that we're about to have about the challenges and opportunities present in the design community and how equity and inclusion and representation can really elevate this community and bring about new perspectives to the world of design. I welcome this conversation, Keia, but I want to tell you first how proud I am of this industry, of this organization, of your organization. When I was a designer in the 90s, and then I'm dating myself, representation mattered. And I often was the only Black designer in design firms here in Chicago. So kudos to you for all the designers that are in school, for all the designers that are working and struggling now. I am just super proud of you and what you're doing and what you guys have been doing since 2011, right?
2010, as a matter of
2010.
Yeah, 2010. Thank you so much for having me, Megan.
Absolutely. And I too am an embossed velvet, mixed metal, marble, and I'll even throw in leather kind of a girl.
Yep. Those are the elements. Those are the
elements. Fantastic. So I want to have a really open conversation. I've got some notes here just so I can follow along, but here we are at the beginning of the new year, embracing this Martin Luther King Jr. Day, recognizing the legacy that he inspired in so many people to follow their dreams and to find courage to express themselves in their own authentic way and to live a life of service to our communities. With that in mind, what kind of changes and shifts do you foresee in the design community in 2022?
You know, Megan, we're always in a place to increase consistency versus focusing on inconsistency. Mm-hmm. We know that this is an issue within our industry, and it very much so mirrors the need for us to figure out how to survive versus thriving.
Yes.
It acts as a hurdle, you know, and if we can eliminate the dire need for inclusion and equity, we can then be free to focus on being innovative, being creative, right. Creating solutions and creating more contributions to our industry.
Right, when inclusion becomes the norm.
Yeah, absolutely.
And equity becomes the norm. Absolutely. That, you know, the cultures that we all represent is enlightened and brought forth into the design industry. Absolutely.
Just flows freely.
Yes, absolutely. And welcomed.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And so I have to ask, okay, from the designer perspective, because I'm on a whole different side of the desk now, any emerging trends that you're seeing in design?
You know, it's funny. I was on my flight this morning and this lady was like, "Oh, I like your outfit. It's very mod. It was during my time, and my time was some time ago." And I said, you know, your time never left. Right. It just made its way around the sun and it's made its way back to me. And so I'm seeing so many trends that are being repeated. But what I would like to see more of, Megan, is trend setting. You know, I want to see more trend setting, you know, more leadership, you know, more vocal designers regarding what they want, you know, manufacturers, designers, you know, all designers of color. They need to be at the forefront with setting trends and not following them and not repeating them. I don't see much of that, but I predict that this is going to happen. This has already started happening. So I want to see a lot more of it in 2022.
Mm-hmm. Great. So at Kohler, we certainly believe that innovation and creativity really come from embracing new and diverse perspectives. How is interior design positively impacted by different cultures?
Oh, you know, it's just not this industry, but every industry in this life that makes up our cycle of life, it's been impacted, inspired, driven, and that's been through culture and community. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to have diverse designers representing and reflecting different cultures within their communities, being proud, because this is what consumers are looking for, the authenticness of design. And as subjective as it may be, all the beauty that it has to offer is not just Eurocentric. It is a combination of tons of cultures in its beauty. And so I think that Kohler, along with the Black Interior Designers Network, is really on to something with being able to unlock more of these culture barriers that we're seeing.
Yeah, because representation matters. As we were talking about just opening the discussion, how representation matters. And yes, the different cultures of design that is represented, it is subjective. However, if we are exposed to it more, if we see it more, then we'll want it more, as opposed to just really seeing one way of design or grouping it as, to your point, more Afrocentric.
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes by Marian Wright Edelman: "You can't be what you can't see." And that's something that has stuck with me since first hearing it, because we have set the precedent. We have to be there as a representation for our community. Our future needs to see that they can too produce lighting lines or tile and bath fixture lines and partner and create all these amazing creative aspects of what goes into interior design. Everyone needs to be able to see themselves, whether it be 5, 10, 15 years down the line. You need to be able to see yourself there.
Right. And it doesn't have to be one way to do it, to get it done. There's, it does not have to be one way, and that one way doesn't necessarily have to be the only way or the best way. So how important is it to have diverse designers representing, we were just talking about this, and reflecting different cultures and communities within the industry? So elaborate a little bit more on that. You just kind of talked about it, but just maybe elaborate a little bit more on that.
I'll give you a little deeper dive into it.
Go for it.
I feel like, Megan, like I said earlier, I reiterate this, that we spend so much time trying to just survive and just trying to make it and just trying to, be accepted in an industry that we should be flowing creatively and freely like rivers in, that we don't really get to then hone in on our best creative selves, and it's the same with allyship. If we aren't wrangling allies and trying to figure out how to create a meaningful partnership, then we can focus, right? We can focus on getting back to the community. We can focus on building. We can focus on creating. We can focus on working with ideal clients and not just clients to pay our mortgage or our rent. Everything is connected. And so with the flow of diversity and inclusion, then follows a consistent flow of just thriving, the ability to thrive.
So important. It is so important to thrive and not just simply exist. And that's on any count.
Yeah.
Any level. If you're thriving, then you are living your best life, for sure. So empowerment is such a strong concept for designers. feeling inspired, confident, and free to express ideas. So how can organizations like Kohler and other members of the design community help deliver empowerment to Black designers to allow them to continue to thrive?
You know, in June of 2020, after the murder of George Floyd, we saw an influx of action relating to the desire to become an ally and reaching out and wanting to partner, wanting to ensure sustainability.
Yes.
We, of course, have to be able to sustain, we have to be able to provide for our members in whatever way that may be. And we understood fully that there would be a need for us to respond in a measurable and concise way. And we wanted to send that message with open arms, that we get tired, we get vexed, we get frustrated with people saying, oh, well, I didn't know that this was still happening within the industry. I didn't know. And so being this beacon for our community, being a leader, we weren't afforded the opportunity to shut down and to say, we're tired of having this conversation over and over again. Instead, what we did was we created a 10-point graphic on how to become an ally within our industry. And for us, allyship comes in a plethora of forms. It comes through financial support. It comes through making sure that there's job placement within the Black design community there at your job. It's, hitting your bottom line, what did you guys change within your business that could uplift or assist Black designers who are in need? It looks like, more media coverage. It looks like uplifting more novice designers, creating opportunities where these designers are visible and they're able to use their platforms. We worked with Kohler on the Architectural Digest.
That was amazing.
Designers Networks.
That was amazing.
And, for us, it was the opportunity to work with such an amazing brand that gassed us up a little bit more. We knew it was going to be great, Megan, but then when our partners came on and our partners were just as elated as we were, we knew it was going to be worth what we had set up during up late hours at night, stressing over or worrying about or wondering if it was going to turn out the way it turned out, which it turned out much better than I could have ever expected or imagined it to. But this is what we talk about when we talk about partnerships, real, genuine, authentic partnerships. They're not just one-sided. Our community is not a monolith. We have never been, we never will be. And what we're producing, what we are pushing into the world, how we're inspiring, everyone should be embraced. And Kohler is doing that. And I feel like other allies who want to come on and really support the network, they should figure out what they want to do, how they want to do it. We can't tell you what your strong suit is, or how you should support. You have to come to us and tell us, hey, this is where we feel like we're strongest. You let us know if you could use this support, if you could use this help, and that's how we do it.
But the Architectural Digest issue was truly iconic, and I hope other allies, other magazines also will follow suit and have an iconic issue, even if it's annual. And is AD going to be an annual edition?
Let's hope so. I've been very prayerful about a physical show house, and so with COVID on the rise, it's just up in the air. You never really know, but the heart is there, the mind is there, and so I'm not a quitter. So be on the lookout for that.
Well, I think sometimes, people know what they know, then they don't know what they don't know. And sometimes when you put it out there in the universe for words for people to hear, that, it would be amazing to have an iconic issue annual, and it would be amazing to have a culturally enriched show house.
Yeah.
Put it out there, and that's exactly how allies can really support the design industry, in particularly Black interior designers, as opposed to it just being one here or there, or having one Black designer represented in a show house to show representation, but to have actually a show house done by Black designers.
So there are show houses that are held every single year, and we know about these show houses, and they're the biggest show houses, and we fly from all over the country, and a few people I know have flown from halfway across the world just to visit these show houses. And so
Sure.
the amount of pressure, the amount of strategic planning, the amount of effort, all of this combined brings forth the final product. And it's always flawless. Coming from the outside looking in, we know nothing is really ever flawless internally. However, it just really sends me into a creative frenzy when I think about the possibility of a physical show house and all the visibility that it could bring to 15 to maybe 20 designers,
Yes.
that the world has never seen before.
Absolutely.
They have never laid eyes on. I mean, it is a heartwarming thought. And so, as I said before, it's something that we are working on, and I'm not going to give up. I don't care if it's 5. Let's say no later than 5 years from now. But I really think that that's something that we should be bringing to the table and providing for the world to sit with them.
I say you just put it out first, and it's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's a job for so many people in not only this industry, but in the world, where they have to look as though they care. They have to look to part. They have to do a job. It's a tax write-off, right? They've got to figure this out. And it's cool to partner with Black organizations. But for organizations like Kohler, who have not once depended on the Black Interior Designers Network to tell them how to come to the table, this really enlightens us and gives us room to thrive. As we talked about before, it's not us trying to survive in this partnership. We can breathe and we can focus on all the other billion things that we have going on, because we know that Kohler is a true partner and that Kohler knows what Kohler wants to bring to the table.
Yes.
These are so important to have as flags, like the kids are calling them, right? I don't know if you guys are hearing this, but red flags, that comes up now. It's like a trending thing.
Yeah.
But these are green flags, and red flags are corporations and companies constantly asking, like, how can I, or what should I, or what do you need? Like, focusing on your strong suit is key to an amazing partnership and cultivating a relationship. And that's not just with the Black Interior Designers Network, but that's anyone, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Not limiting it to the month of February, not just writing a check and be done with it, not a one and done, but a commitment to be an involved ally for the long haul. So all you other allies out there, get on board. I'm really, really happy that we're having this conversation. And again, I am super proud of the organization, super proud of all the things that you have done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having me. Megan, it was an honor, a true honor to speak with you today. And as the great Marian Wright Edelman said, you can't be what you can't see. And we thank you and Kohler and Callista and Roburn and Sachs for aiding in our visibility. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you, Keia, for joining me. It was such an honor to talk with you. Again, I'm super proud of all of your hard work, as well as the team's hard work for the Black Interior Designer Network. And until we speak again, everyone stay safe. Thanks again for joining.